Hey everybody, welcome back to our continuing coverage of the Knightquest saga. And I kind of made a mistake before when I said we were doing the Catwoman Batman crossover. And I said it took place in Batman 503, Catwoman 7, Batman 504. I didn't realize that actually it's a four-parter that concludes in Catwoman number 6. And I think I had gotten mixed up because I'm sorry, got those backwards here. Hold on, let me switch those. It's actually, there we go. There's Catwoman 6. Concludes in Catwoman 7. And I think maybe I got switched up because Ryan had told me here that it's being the Search and the Crusade, that Search right here, that's a misprint, an editorial misprint. So we're going to do Batman 504 right now, which is, I guess, part 3 of 4. And then I guess we'll look at Catwoman 7 later on. But when we did Batman 503, it was kind of weird because you could read these in different orders. So if you read Batman 503 but don't know a lot about Catwoman, you would think that possibly Catwoman was stealing these chemicals for to aid terrorists. But if you read Catwoman number 6 first, it's obvious she's not because it goes into the whole backstory. Catwoman 6 takes place before 503. So it goes in the whole backstory of how she's stealing the chemicals to save them so they don't get in the hands of terrorists. And it's kind of, so like at the end of Batman 503, it says, continued in Catwoman 6. But in Catwoman 6, it says, continued in Batman 503. So I guess depending on which order you read them. And honestly, I think the writers, the artists, the editors, they didn't really care. They just wanted to sell books. They just wanted you to buy the books. So they're hoping for either way. So Batman 504, once again, Kelly Jones cover. Really like the statues. Ties in later in the story. Not too crazy about Catwoman and Batman in this one. His shoulders just are a little too exaggerated. And Catwoman just doesn't look that good. She just kind of, I don't know. Just doesn't do it for me. But anyway, we get in, and I remember kind of like around this part in real time in Knightquest, it was kind of dragging a little bit. People were kind of losing their, like, luster for Jean-Paul Valley as Bats, and the books started to sell a little less, even though they were going crazy at the beginning. They started to kind of trail off, and every book, all 4 Bat books and Justice League Task Force and Catwoman were all doing these different storylines in it, and people were kind of starting to get like event fatigue. But I kind of find it interesting how each writer, and this is of course written by Doug Munch, with art by Mike Manley, and the highlighter, the colors, Andrea Roy, great colors. But each writer is kind of writing Jean-Paul a little different. And in Detective with Chuck Dixon, the narration and the narration boxes are third person. In Batman here with Jean-Paul Valley, it's first person, and he's saying I and me. And in Batman 503, he was really kind of creeping on Catwoman and his dark desires and shameful dreams. But here we start off 504 with some more hallucinations of Saint Dumas. We don't know if this is the programming or his going crazy. And quite honestly, the beginning part of the story, I guess Act 1, you might say, I didn't really like very much. It kind of involves Catwoman trying to get rid of the chemicals by boat. And Batman says, she hid it in the last place the police would look, 50 yards from the burglary. And I'm thinking, isn't that the first place they would look? And they kind of take off on the boat, and kind of the art is a little too, I don't know. I'll let you fill in your own adjective there. But anyway, so then they take off on the boat, and Catwoman's trying to throw Batman off the boat by shaking the boat around while driving it. And it just seems a little ridiculous that Batman in his suit and with all his grappling hooks and everything can't handle a boat ride. And that seems to go on way too long. And he's, again, not quite as creepy, but kind of talking about how he is into Catwoman a lot. And then this picture, the perspective is a little weird, so I guess he's lunging at her, but if you look closely, it almost looks like he's grabbing her boobs. So, yeah, maybe not the best art in that panel. And the boat ride is just kind of weird. And then Catwoman, kicks him in the face, which he's wearing a helmet. It should break her foot. I don't quite get that. And then Then she headbutts him in the face, which once again, that should just have knocked her out. And, Batman choking her and scratching the helmet. It just, I don't know, it didn't work for me. And then Catwoman decides to take the boat, and it looks like it's going to crash into the pier, and it causes it to burst into flames like that. I just don't know. If you crash a boat into a wood pier, like look at that, that's a wood dock. Does it immediately burst into flames? Unless it's a Ford Pinto. But art looks kind of cool, and Batman looks awesome there. So anyway, Detective Bullock says, "Hey, Commish, we got the call. What's going on?" And he says somebody saw what looked like a naked woman jump from the boat. So obviously Catwoman and a guy with a cape, and they're actually chasing after each other. So Renee Montoya is already on the scene, and Bullock and Commish are going to head out. And here it gets a little bit better. I don't know how Catwoman jumped from the boat, landed, I guess, in the water, made it out, swam, has the Zyklon C reagent, and is running through the rooftops of Gotham. That's pretty impressive. But somehow they're going to go into the like gargoyle museum, I guess is what it is. And here once again, look at that coloring. That is just awesome coloring. And here the book picked up. This got a little bit better. There's a lot less dialogue. You can see a lot less word bubbles on the pages. And there's a pretty good fight. Once again, very graphic imagery of Catwoman. I'll let you fill in your own adjective there. Then they kind of fight, and this is a little more realistic. Catwoman's not headbutting, a helmet. And then we see they're in like the Gargoyle Museum, and they start fighting. Once again, Asbats looks awesome. Great art, great coloring, cool 2-page spread as Catwoman kicks this huge gargoyle out the window, goes crashing out. Didn't hit Batman. He knew to duck in time, but it does kind of land on a car, which lets Montoya know right where Batman and Catwoman are. And so then they keep fighting, and really not much happens other than the fight. But it's still not too bad. Once again, very graphic art. I'll let you fill in your own adjective there. And finally, it's Batman's kind of doing a number on Catwoman, and he even says at one point, "You're the night herself, and a devil for making me want you." So, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know, kind of creepish. But anyway, they fight until the police show up, and Batman says, "Haha, see, look, I told you Catwoman was evil." I think my dog's barking. "I told you Catwoman," shh, Abby, shh. Sorry. "I told you Catwoman was evil." How many times am I going to say that? And the police are there. Batman jumps out the window. More fill in your own adjective. Mike Manley, I wonder what his family said while he was drawing all this. But anyway, Batman jumps out the window and says, "All right, police, you take her." No one thinks that's going to stop Catwoman. But then it says, "Continued in Catwoman number 7 and the return of the abattoir." And so we'll see that Catwoman number 7. So anyway, I'll try to keep this under 9 minutes. So anyway, we'll look at number 7 next time. And as you can see, Knightquest to Crusade, a lot was going on. We were in Shadow of the Bat, Detective, Robin right there, Catwoman this issue, I think Legends of the Dark Knight. So DC, they were doing a lot with this, and some people were getting a bit of, fatigue. Oh man, I see that looks like a crinkle. Oh, it's not near mint anymore. All right, well, this just went over 9 minutes. So anyway, all right, I'll talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed that, and see you next time.